So this section is how to get women to break the touch barrier. So I say on the first date, I'm basically the opposite of every guy she has encountered during her dating experience. Here's how I approach a date. We usually go to a restaurant or a coffee shop, or sometimes we choose a place where we can take a walk together. When we meet up for the date, I greet her warmly saying, "Hey, what's up? Nice to meet you." I may give her a hug at the beginning, but that's the last touch I initiate until the end of the date, when I hug her again and say, "It was nice meeting you." Now notice, I say that's the last touch I initiate, all right? Because ultimately, the goal is to get her to touch you first in the date capacity. Continuing, now what am I doing in between that time? Well, as we sit down, we engage in conversation, and my primary focus is on making her laugh and actively listening to her. I strive to make her feel like she's the only person in the room. By genuinely getting to know her and not solely fixating on how many ways I can touch her, a few things happen. First, she starts to think, "Oh my God, this guy's actually not trying to touch me right away. He's genuinely listening to me and trying to get to know who I am." This sets me apart from the other guys that she might have dated, and it brings her a sense of relief. It's a positive impression I want to create because I want her to believe that I am interested in getting to know her for who she is, regardless of any physical aspect. Ironically, by demonstrating that interest in getting to know her on a deeper level, I often end up making more progress physically with her than I would have anticipated had I solely focused on touching her instead. So after the first thing goes off in her head, which is, "Oh my God, this guy's such a relief," as the date goes on and I haven't touched her yet, her ego starts to play with her thoughts. She begins to have a different kind of thought process, which goes like this. "Wow, he's really not touching me? Wait, he's not touching me at all. No, this can't be right. Every guy I go out with wants to touch me because I'm attractive, right? I mean, I must be attractive, but does he find me attractive? I'm not sure because he's not touching me. He's not trying to make any advances or talk about sex. He's not even attempting to brush against me lightly. Am I really that attractive to him? What's going on?" So you see, when you refrain from touching her, her own brain starts playing tricks on her. She begins to wonder why you, the guy she's on a date with, isn't trying to touch her. She ends up playing her own mind games, trying to figure out your intentions and whether you find her attractive or not. Then a third thing goes off in the subconscious part of her brain. "I don't know if he's attracted to me. I have to see if he's attracted to me. Maybe I'll touch him and see what his reaction is." I've been on plenty of dates where I'll be sitting across from a woman, engaging in conversation, but I'm not reaching out for her physically. Instead, I leave myself available to be touched. Again, you leave yourself available. For instance, I may be telling a story and my arms will be resting on the table. That way, if she decides to test out the touch, it's available for her to do so. Inevitably, when I'm talking to her, she might suddenly say, "Oh my God, I have to tell you this one part of the story real quick." And she'll reach out and grab my hand or touch my arm. At that moment, she's broken the touch barrier and it becomes an opportunity for me to gauge her interest. And so, yeah, that's an example of like one of the ways that you can set up to be able to gauge her interest is by leaving yourself open for touch instead of you trying to go for the touch first. And when you do that, just leaving your arm on the table like this, you'll find as she's getting to start to feel like more of a vibe with you, she'll be telling a story and then she'll be like, "Oh my God," and then this, and that has happened so many times on dates. So that's an example of a little nugget that's in the book that can help you out, right? So other segments you can read for free at this page are reasons 1 and 2 that you don't want to contact her between dates. You can read the section on a secret brain trick that you can use to lessen how much you talk on dates. Because a big problem that women have on dates is that it's not that you're talking so much, it's that you're talking so much about you. And in the process of that, you're not asking about her, which means you're galvanizing the conversation. And I find a lot of guys have this issue because I have friends that are guys that are long talkers that are going like 10 or 12 minutes and not ask a single question. And so as a guy, you got to curtail that. You got to get that under control. And so in that book, I talk about a secret mind trick that I've used for years to be able to monitor how long I'm talking. So that way this actually feels like a conversation we're having with me and the woman instead of her feeling to her like I'm just taking over the entire conversation, you know? Another section you can read there is a story that illustrates why maybe dates are always no. I have a section that's in there about the key to gradually build romance. And again, these are all free things you can read right now when you go to the sales page for my Stop Losing Women ebook. You will see all these sections you can read for free right now at that page. And then the big one is I have a section where I talk about where the hot zones are on a woman's body and how you can stimulate them. This is like, it's a part, that guide is part of the chapter where I talk about like the 7 ways to escalate into the bedroom. So number 6 is how to basically like turn on her hot zones. I go through like a list of 12 of her hot zones and how to turn them on. And that's available for you to read for free right now at the sales page, all right?
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high earning,